All right, we're back on the record, and next we have the sentencing in People v. Sean McGrath, file 25-93351FH, sentencing on probation violation. Counsel, you want to stay?
Right from the start, this isn't just another routine sentencing. This is a probation violation with a long memory. The court is looking at years of chances, relapses, and second and third and fourth opportunities. On paper, the guidelines say 5 to 23 months, but in reality, the judge is about to weigh something much heavier: pattern versus potential. Is this a man who keeps making stupid mistakes, or someone who's run out of excuses? Stay locked in, because what happens next is a textbook example of how patience in court can finally run out.
A real good positive thing to say that, he's known me a long time based off of my occupation. But in the course of that time period, I've gotten to know Mr. McGrath, and he does make some stupid mistakes, and that's what it is. It's dumb mistakes. It's not, he's not what we call a hardened criminal. He's doing this just out of spite or to thumb his nose at the law. He makes stupid mistakes. And again, that's what this one was. I know he's a very remorseful young man. We are in support of the recommendation, or even if the court would consider time served. He has served quite a bit of time. One thing he has done actively while in jail, and I'll ask to approach or have the bailiff give these to you, is he's partaken in any course that he possibly can, whether that be for counseling for his substance abuse issues, whether it be in a religious standpoint. One of the authors of one of those letters, Dale DeVerding, is here in the courtroom. He works for the county as a patrol officer or a recreational officer. He also operates a church locally. I know Dale quite well, and he has told me about what they're willing to do to help Mr. McGrath stay on the straight and narrow and establish a support network for him. One of the things he does want to do once he gets his commitment to you taken care of is go to Missouri. Dale's telling me that they actually will help him get there because they believe that he probably even has a better support network there to accomplish the things and keep Mr. McGrath from falling back and being back in front of you again or making other stupid mistakes. And I would ask the court to consider all these things that he has been doing and possibly give him time served. But in any case, we're in support of the recommendation. Thank you.
Mr. McGrath, you don't have to say anything today. You're welcome to. Is there anything you want to tell me or no?
I am sorry, and I did make stupid mistakes, and I am remorseful, and I would like to change. I'm working towards change for the better.
Thank you. Mr. McLennan, any recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor. Doing the PSI in this matter and the probation violation report, it appears Mr. McGrath does have a substance abuse issue. Part of his terms of his probation was to have an assessment done and get treatment for that. And he did have the initial assessment done and was referred to outpatient treatment services. However, he did not go to them. Eventually, he did set up an appointment, but was arrested prior to being able to go there. The report indicates he hasn't made any payments towards the costs he owes. And he was supposed to be reporting on probation in Sheboygan, and he missed 3 of 3 appointments there. I would say that since he's been in jail, it looks like he's been doing some good things, but Your Honor, based on, I would say it's a failure of his compliance on probation. I think the appropriate recommendations are appropriate in the report for 6 months of jail, Your Honor. Thank you.
Well, Mr. McGrath, I do agree with something your attorney said that, I know you well as well as a graduate of our recovery court program. You're not a malicious guy. I do agree with that. There is a troubling pattern here over the last 10 years. In 2015, you got a OWI in Texas that was pled down to obstructing a highway. And then your probation got revoked and you got 2 months in jail. In 2016, you got domestic violence in Las Vegas. You got probation, but then a bench warrant for failing to appear. I think that's a still open case. 2017, a possession of marijuana, 6 months jail, but there had been a possession of other narcotics that was dismissed as part of the plea. And then in 2019, a meth lab case, and instead of prison, you got recovery court. And you didn't go to prison. You had some credit before the sentencing, but you didn't get jail or prison for that. You got treatment court. You did well in the treatment court. I remember talking with you about, your employment and your progress. And, I felt really good about where you were at, and I'm sure you did too. And then you graduated in 2021, December 2021. And then this year, you got a felon in possession of a firearm with 5 to 23 months guidelines range. Another possible prison case. So you had a definite prison case in the meth lab, and I didn't send you to prison. You got treatment court. You had a possible prison in front of me in April, and I didn't send you to prison then. And I didn't even give you jail then. Do you remember why I didn't give you jail?
Yes.
Why?
Because I did good, so I go drug court and because.
The job.
Yes, sir.
I said I didn't want to disrupt your long-standing employment that seemed to be the most stable thing you had in your life. Within a month after I made that decision, you quit that job. Well, and you haven't paid a penny on the fines and costs. You made excuses to reschedule your reporting days, every one of them you had, which makes me think you were trying to avoid detection for drug testing. You continue to use drugs. We ordered you to treatment. You didn't go to treatment. And then you drove while high less than 6 months after I put you on probation. You've stood in front of me twice when prison's at the plate and you didn't go. It's strike 3, Mr. McGrath. You're going to go today. I'm revoking your probation. You have not complied with the efforts that we've given recently to get you on a better track. And now that you're in trouble, you're going to classes in the jail. Yeah, good on you. And I got no doubt that you're well-intentioned with that. The problem is when somebody doesn't have the screws right to you, you just do what you want. Those guidelines arguably don't even take into account your poor progress on probation, but I'm not going to exceed those guidelines. You avoided prison in 2019 due to recovery court. I gave you another chance of no jail in this case. You squandered that opportunity. Now it's just time for time. So I'm revoking your probation. I'm going to commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections for a term of not less than 18 months or more than 5 years. Give you credit for 125 days previously served. That's within the advisory guidelines. It's not even at the top end. I do think it's proportionate given the circumstances of this offense, and the offender fines and costs remain due and owing in the amount of any unpaid balance. And Mr. McGrath, if you wanted to appeal, you can do so by filing an application. We're going to hand you a piece of paper about that.
This is the moment everything catches up. The judge walks carefully through nearly a decade of history, multiple states, multiple cases, repeated leniency, and repeated failure to comply. And here's the key legal takeaway. This sentence isn't about punishment for one mistake. It's about revocation for sustained noncompliance. Probation is a privilege, not a pause button. The court made it clear that treatment court, reduced charges, and no jail outcomes were opportunities, and those opportunities were squandered. The sentence of 18 months to 5 years stays within guidelines, reflects proportionality, and closes the door on further chances in this case. So here's the question for you. Was this fair accountability, or should rehabilitation have outweighed incarceration one more time? If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.